What it do? What it do? Welcome to another edition of Outlaw Radio, Hump Day edition, if you will. As you can tell, I am not in the normal uh, Outlaw Radio studios tonight, so I don't have all my bells and whistles, but I'm going to conduct business as usual. I am Kevin Barnes. I am the militant with a microphone, the mouthpiece of the movement, aka the Negro Whisperer, in some circles known as the Outlaw Radio Negro Whisperer. So, welcome to the show. It's been a while since I've been on, been dealing with some of those situations that you attribute to life. So, hit like, hit share, hit follow, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend, share the show. Outlaw Radio is popping off. Outlaw Radio back and forth. I am waiting on the crew to arrive, if you will. But in the meantime and in between time, like I said, man, it's Outlaw Radio. So, welcome to the show. I do have I have kind of like a condolences tonight, if you will, for a fellow educator, a fellow social service, person who provided a service. I shouldn't say social services. He was an educator. My brother Keith Carrington, who was the principal at North Division High School. I worked with Keith Carrington. I met Keith Carrington actually years ago when I worked in the Village Middle School, and he was still a teacher. And his brother went on to do great things and work his way up and become a principal. He passed away this week at the age of 48. He was the principal of North Division High School, like I said. And the one thing I always admired about Mr. Carrington is that he cared about the kids so much. And you could tell because there's some people who, and I talk about this all the time when I talk about people who criticize MPS and some of the educators. They talk about, well, teachers are only in it for the money. They ain't doing nothing and they don't care about the kids. And I'm here to tell you, Mr. Carrington cared about those kids. He loved North Division, even lived in the community, even though obviously economically he was able to live somewhere else, man. So rest in peace, man, to brother Keith Carrington, man, a good brother, man. I worked with him then, and then I came back to North as a career coordinator a couple years ago through Employ Milwaukee. And I was working with the kids in North Division, getting them jobs and whatnot. And brother Carrington, once again, when I came back, he was the principal. When I seen him before, he was at the Village Middle School, which was upstairs. When I came back, he was the principal of North Division. So real good brother, man. The community will miss him. I hope some of those kids who he assisted and who he cared for, because a lot of kids were saying, if it wasn't for Mr. Carrington, I wouldn't have graduated from high school. I would have dropped out. I hope they remember his impact, man, and I hope they pay it forward, like they say. So rest in peace to brother Carrington, man. Good brother, man, like I said before. But welcome to Outlaw Radio, man, on a Wednesday night. We haven't been on in a while. Brother Rail, what's popping with you, man?
Chilling, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah, man. I don't have my normal bells and whistles, man, because I'm not actually in my studio. I'm actually trying out my portable broadcasting equipment that I'll use when we start to go on location. So if you
Oh,
don't,
okay.
people say, where the sound effects at? I don't have my roadcaster. I don't have my roadcaster tonight, so I can't really do that. And I'm working with some different microphones and stuff. So, you know, variety is the spice of life, man. What's going on with you though? We've been off for a while, man. How you been doing?
I've been good, man. Just steady focusing on these other streams of income, just trying to get everything cracking.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Ricky Adams, hey, what's happening, brother? It's been a while, man. Brother Ricky Adams, he was with me way, way back when I first started Outlaw Radio. And I used to do Chocolate City on Blog Talk Radio. Ricky Adams, out in California, one of my supporters from back then. So, like I said, man, normally we're here Mondays and Wednesdays. And we weren't able to go on Monday, and it's just me. I'm old, right? And so I've been dealing with my back. Everybody out there know I got a bad back, so I've been dealing with it, man. So I decided to do something that I rarely do, which is just give it a rest, right? Like I'm always the person who's just gonna keep going no matter what. But I'm like, you know what? Let me chill for a minute. Let me sit back and take a rest, man. But we're back tonight. I don't know if the Ghetto Witch Doctor is free from his community obligations to be able to join us. I don't know if Courtney will be stepping in, but it's Outlaw Radio back and forth. A lot has happened. We've only been off a week. A lot has happened, man, in that week. Go back and check out the last show I did with Vince Tony. Shout out to Vince Tony, man.
Yeah, that was cool.
Uh, yeah, Vince did a great job, man. A lot of people reached out to me. Shout out to Chris Johnson with Kingfish MKE as well. He reached out and he talked about how great he thought Vince done in terms of talking about some of the affairs in the community. But so check that show out. Every show that I have is actually on my timeline on Facebook. So they're all archived, man. We have a YouTube page. We're on Twitter. Sometimes I share it on Instagram when my old ass can't remember. Because I completely forget
Yeah.
about it sometimes. So sometimes it's on there as well. But check us out, man. Support the movement. I'm gonna get us back up to full steam ahead, get our momentum back going. Back and forth, man. We're at the end of the summer, man. Can you believe how fast this summer zoomed by us, man?
Nah, man. I wish it slow down.
Well, it's too late now. It's too
Right.
late now, right? School has started back. I see people putting the pictures. When you start seeing people putting those pictures up of those little kids, you
Right.
already know summer's over, right?
Right.
And we did talk about, and there's the theory now that the Earth is spinning faster than it has been in previous years, right? Like, so I don't know if there's some truth to that. I know we've been saying, like, damn. I know one of the things about getting older is once you turn 30, it takes off, right? Like, I'm looking at my kids now. My son is a junior in high school. My daughter's a junior in college. And I'm remembering when I had toddlers. So I'm like, damn, what happened, right? Like, so yeah, once you turn a certain age, time starts to fly. But it's Outlaw Radio, man, back and forth. I really want to talk about what this summer, how this summer will be remembered. And we do this normally. We do a retrospective at the end of the summer every year, and we talk about things that have transpired throughout the summer. I say back and forth because we live in an age where everybody has an opinion. Tupac said everybody had to open their mouth with a motherfucking opinion, right? When he did hit him up, right? So everybody has an opinion, man, and there's a million podcasts, and there's bloggers, and there's YouTube, and there's social media, and every social media platform has a live. And the crazy part about it is everybody thinks their opinion is the correct way to feel or approach things, right? And I say either we all right or we all wrong. But I think we're all right at the same time, and I think we all wrong at the same time. So I just said back and forth, man, because I see so much I see so much, I see opinions over here regarding this. I see opinions over there. Somebody say up, somebody over here say down, right? Like we was debating one night about whether the earth is round or flat, right? Like, and you know, there was some good facts presented on both parts. Like I said, man, I think the people who want you to believe the earth is round are the people who sell globes, right? Ghetto witch doctor in the building was popping with you, Mr. Carter.
Peace, man. Peace. How you brothers doing?
Peace. Bless,
Oh, we
man.
good tonight, man. We're good tonight. Trying to
Damn,
get
you
this
got the
thing back
blue
right.
light, huh?
I actually don't. I'm just not in my studio, right? I'm not in my
Look
studio.
like you got the blue light, man.
Nah, man, I don't. I just don't have my lights. I don't have my normal lights. I'm not in my studio. I'm trying out. This is actually, like I was telling Rail, this is the mobile kind of thing, like the part where when we go and do on location, I can pack the show up and put it in my pocket without minimum bags, right? So yeah, if it looks blue, it's
Hey,
not because I have a blue light. Maybe the
but you
lights just
know,
own me too much.
hey, no, the blue light. That's like just a saying, right? Like the
Okay.
comedians get the blue light. That mean when they on. You know what I mean? You get
Oh,
the
okay.
blue
I didn't know.
I ain't know that either.
Yeah, that's like
Only
that's
light
the
I know is the
comedian
red
thing.
light.
Okay, you know what, Kamar? I have heard that before. I
Yeah, I
have
was
heard that.
watching. It is. I forgot what movie it was, but they was talking about that. Might have been a
Yeah,
Robert
man.
Townsend movie, maybe.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I was watching this
Yeah.
documentary the other day on damn, was it on Prime or Netflix? But basically it was called Fat Tuesdays. I didn't know
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Guy I ain't know Guy Tory, Joe Tory little brother had his hand in so much. You know,
yeah,
I grew up seeing Joe Tory first, but I
yeah.
guess Guy came up and surpassed his brother.
Yeah, it was all about that venue, and we've had comedians on here. We've spoken about that whole era with the emergence of black comedy, and he was one of the first people. There was a precursor to that in which my man from House Party, I can't remember his name. I'm
Smart.
having
Kid Play
the father
Robin
who died.
Harris.
Robin
Harris,
Harris.
yeah.
Robert Head.
He was the host. They had one in Los Angeles that showcased black comedians. He passed. Then Guy Tori did do Fat Tuesday. So it was a very good documentary, man. It's a lot of good
It's dope.
documentaries out. Shout out to Beverly Williams. She said, once you turn 30, still a young one. Funny. No, I'm a long way from 30. I'm a long way from 30. I'm just saying once I hit 30, time took off. Right. Like I looked around like, damn, what happened? Ernest Walker said, why you have to fly up why you have to fly up to get into space, right? Why do you have to fly up to get into space? Who knows? Some people say they ain't never been in space. That's that back and forth that I'm talking about, see? And that's why I decided to call the show Back and Forth. It's a lot going on, man, in the city of Milwaukee. And like I said, I wanted to know when I was kind of coming up with the talking points for the show, I want to say, like, man, what will this summer be remembered for? Right? Because I said we normally do this kind of retrospective at the end of the summer. So I want to know how do you feel this summer will be remembered? In my opinion, I feel like this is a summer that really illustrated how lost our youth are. I feel like the problems that we saw this summer from young people, the murder and the death amongst young people, which was a continuation of what was already happening with the Stoleys and this kind of thing. I feel like this summer, the lost relationship that we have with our young people was just it was just put on blast to me. From just some of the behavior that we saw going to state fair, and they do. I mean, this happens all the time, but the fights at state fair, the way youth have just a disregard for any kind of authority or any kind of redirection. I feel like this summer that stood out to me. And when I look back over it, I say, man, it's a shame, and I wonder where we're going to how we're going to reel this situation back in with our young people. We know that, and I want to talk about MPS, right? And shout out to Miss Beverly, who's watching. Miss Beverly is on MPS heels constantly and consistently. But
Yeah,
I want to
she
know
on
what
them.
y'all thought, man. Who's this? I can't even say that first word. Photos, blessings, kings. Anybody else? I know both of y'all are way smarter than me. Can anybody else say that name? That first name?
It looked like AQLS LLC
Okay.
photos. Some look like a business.
Okay. Okay.
So
Shout out to
shout out to your business, whoever that is. Shout out to
yeah.
your business.
Right.
Most
Salute.
definitely. And we're big on representing black business. So if you have a
Definitely.
black business, you need to get with us because all we want to do is represent black businesses and help you promote what you're doing. We always talk about big upping positivity. And if you got something positive going in the community or business or whatnot, hit us up, man. Hit us up. It's not as expensive as you think it might be. Like we always say, we promise not to knock the stuffing out your egg McMuffin. But let's talk about this summer that just went by. And I don't know who either one of you could, kind of chime in. What will you remember this summer for? Not on a personal level, because there's some things I could say personally, but as a community, as a village, as they say, what do y'all think this summer will be remembered? How will you remember it?
The Kill Boy Summer.
Okay.
I mean, you know what I mean? They got popular as a motherfucker this summer, man. They got videos and all kind of shit, man. This is
Okay.
summer of the Kill Boys, man. Got to give it to them.
It's Andron Lane. He said he's laughing because, and I guess that is his business, right?
Oh
So
yeah, Andron. Peace, Andron. I know Andron is.
I,
Peace, brother.
I stay massacring
And you know
somebody's
what?
name.
It
So
didn't even dawn on me too. I know that's his brand, and I'm just it didn't even dawn. I'm trying to read it, but yeah, I get it. Peace, brother. Peace.
right. Kia Boys. And it's Kia Boys in other cities now, Kamar.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
Milwaukee wanted
That's another
nationwide,
that's another reason for it to be remembered for the kids.
yeah. And if Milwaukee ever
Now
wanted,
we
like,
multiply.
if they wanted nationwide recognition, they got it. You got it, Milltown, right? Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You got it.
Now we multiply.
Right, right.
So now we know for them and Jeffrey Dahmer, huh?
Them,
Like,
yeah. And beer that
and,
we don't make anymore, right? And
right,
and the Fonz who never existed nor lived here, right? But there
right,
was
right.
greasers. Real, what you think how you gonna remember this season that we just getting through?
Man, just this summer has been a This wild, G. I'm gonna be real, because I'm a person for the people. I feel like with education and love, you can kind of turn everybody around, or if they're willing. But this summer kind of showed me how lost motherfuckers really is. You know what I'm saying? Like it helps you come to realize that you can't save everybody, and there's really some walking, breathing, just embodiments of cancer. Cancer is a cell that didn't get the proper nutrition or information. So now it's taking up space, resources, and harming good cells. So unfortunately, some of these people haven't got the proper nutrition or information or education, and they're around just harming good citizens. And you want to believe that, with love and shit like that, you can convert them, but like just the other day, a little boy was in my van. You know what I'm saying? I come outside.
Right.
Well, the crazy thing is, I seen him because I'm usually up at 5 in the morning. That's when I'm usually,
Okay.
waking, baking, meditating, and I'm usually watching some kind of lecture. So I'm just leaning up against my couch, getting lifted and listening to a dope ass lecture. And I see a boy in some silkies and a t-shirt with a lopsided ass fro. So I'm like, why the fuck is he outside at 5 in the morning? So I'm watching him anyway because he walked past my living room window, and he wasn't dressed like he was going to work or something like that. He was dressed like he just woke up. So I'm like, damn, I know the gas stations ain't open. So because he was walking slow in front of my house, I kept an eye on him. And then when I seen him going to my van, I'm like, wait, I know I ain't tripping. So I was about to go outside anyway to finish smoking, but I just wanted to finish my lecture. So I said, all right, fuck the lecture. Let me see what little dude on. Man, I come outside. He halfway in the van, and I don't know if he was trying to start it up before he hop in, or if he was just rummaging for some shit. But when I hollered at him or whatever, he just took off running, and he just ran straight, man, just straight for at least 30 seconds. And because I was about to go outside, I had my shit on me because I don't go outside without it. But I'm like, dog, if I was in my wrong mind, this would have been that scene from Boys in the Hood and shit, because he just running straight. And I'm just looking like this little motherfucker was just in my shit. And it brought me to the talk we had before, like, what would you do if you got your gun on you and catch somebody in the act? And now, I don't fuck with hypotheticals because, you never know. But now I guess I can say I do know because my shit was right in my hand. And I'm just looking like this little ugly ass motherfucker was just in my shit. But, I wasn't, you get all kind of thoughts, G. First, it's like, oh, this nigga doing this shit. Wow, I got my shit. The universe must want me to kill this motherfucker.
Right.
But then the flip side of that,
it's a baby. Yeah. It's a baby. At the end of the day.
Fuck that baby. At the end of the day, no, fuck that baby. He just gonna grow up to be a grown, fucked up individual, and it might be better for him to be, but the reason he's still here is because I got babies to stay out and stay free to raise. But otherwise, fuck dude. And fuck his parents for letting him be out at 5 in the morning. So I don't give a fuck about that. And that's where this got me to. I'm usually, man, just gotta give him some love and shit like that. Now it's like, no, fuck these lost motherfuckers, man.
That's why
whoever want to be unlost can buy my book. But anybody who want to stay in that stupidity, I am investing in that private prison. And the part that pissed me off the most is because I caught the little motherfucker and it ain't shit I could do. Mm-hmm. Like, what could I do? Like, even people like, man, you should just whooped his ass, took a belt out. Okay.
Yeah.
And then when I did that, you know what I'm saying? What can I do? Except like, well, shit, let me just learn to lock my shit up, Mo. You know, it's like, so that's the biggest part that pissed me off. And that's what I'm remember.
Now hold on, because I see I got this big ass smile on my face over here because I recall this conversation a couple months ago, and you were one to say, well, I really don't believe that you teach anyone a lesson by doing physical harm to them. So you was kumbaya that night.
I said I never liked fighting people because I don't get any pleasure in whooping anybody's ass. I get pleasure in the understanding. Now, if I gotta
Yeah,
whoop your ass to give you an understanding, as long as you got to understand, I'm happy. But
hold on. So
I'm the kind of person. All right, do you understand why I whooped your ass? All right, was I wrong for whooping your ass? Oh, okay, no. We gonna do it again. If I can't get that, most times you gonna get fuck you, nigga. I'm gonna do it again. So it's like, all right, now I gotta just choke you out, man. You just lost, and you need to be lost up out of here. So that's why I
Jay
never take it to that extreme.
Jay Wilson in the chat room said new leadership. We did have new leadership. This was the first summer of our newly elected, what they call them, the black seven. Is that what they call them? All black everything downtown. And I was disappointed in some of that, and some of it I appreciated. Some of it I said, okay, that's cool. We'll talk about that as we move along. Miss Beverly said they need a value system. Where's the value system? These children need hope and a belief system. The summer of our lost black youth. How do we bring them back into the fold? That's cool. You're right, Miss Beverly. And when I said that, I thought that will be my own observation. I really didn't expect you all, because we all kind of echoed each other in that it was a summer in which our young people just kind of demonstrated how lost they actually are, and how much we've lost them. um Adrian said a lot of good dudes got killed who was doing some positive stuff. Yeah, loss of life, man. Murder. Milwaukee, man. Beverly said there are many great young people and a few who are lost in the desert. We need to reach them all some kind of way. Listen, I will never say there's no good young people. There's a lot of young black people who want to get up out of this. They are doing their best to get out, and unfortunately, they don't get the recognition that they deserve, because we stay focused on some of the bullshit, right? Like, because every time I do want to talk about something positive, Rail's talking about somebody hanging out his van, or Kamar's talking about some youngsters running into his truck trying to smash off, right? Something that he put a lot of work into acquiring, something that Rail has put a lot of work into acquiring. What I call them habitual line steppers. Um,
Right.
Mental health is a serious issue in our community. I've never
It
given
is.
credence to all this talk about trauma, because God knows we all have trauma that we deal with. But now I'm starting to say, man, this shit is more serious than I thought, because I
It
see
is.
people who are so far gone that they reject help. They don't want help because they're not aware that they actually need it. They're laughing at somebody else saying, "I look at this motherfucker," not knowing that they are in the same predicament, right?
right.
So
Mhm.
it's a crazy situation. Miss Beverly said it's now a fad to steal cars. Steal cars. Look, once again, I come up in the crack era, so I know that we did the stealing and the joyriding, and I know these kids think that they're pioneers, but they're not. I got, somebody reminded me of that. One of my homeboys reminded me of that. Like, Kev, I watched your show, and you were talking about the Stolies and how they stole the cars and running from the police, and he was like, "Do you recall that a bunch of us called cases for stealing cars and trying to get on the high speed and get away back?" And we talking about mid to early '90s,
So
and
that my bad, but that just mean that we can tell them what's happening.
right, we can tell them
We
where it
know
leads
what's
to.
up. So
Mhm.
yeah, we did do that shit. So we telling y'all that ain't what's up.
Yeah, and where it leads to, because my partner was saying he hit a pole, he hit a light pole trying trying to run, and they got beat up by the cops, right? Snatched out the
Damn.
car and kicked and stomped. So, and I'm talking 1993, 94, right? So, it's nothing new under the sun. That's what my dad used to tell me. The game don't
Right.
change, just the players. Gino Hill said he can dig that. Adrian said, what about you at that age? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I listen, you never hear me say or like, I talk about the situation, but the one thing about myself was, thank God I had a strong family, and they were able to help
Right.
me so that I was able to get out of that. And Miss Beverly talked about those values. Thank God that I was given those values early on, because that's eventually what brought me back from the darkness, because I did know, man, this is wrong. You cannot live like this. You got to make a change. And I wish all these kids had that. No, at that age, I was just like them, man. And I was horrible. I didn't pop pills. I wasn't really wild with experimenting with drugs like that. I mean, weed and alcohol, but in terms of just getting out here doing wild and crazy, fighting and banging and who riding and high siding. Yes, absolutely, positively. Serving up some genocide and some plastic baggies in the community. Absolutely, positively. Trying to check some twos and fews. And I really didn't even have to do it. It was really no reason for me to be doing it. Right. And so thank God that I was able to get myself right. Joseph Walker said, need to change the law. You should be able to use your gun to protect property, not just your home. Your car should be an extension of your home. The only reason I
Right.
disagree with that is because I don't want to see teenagers murdered over cars and stereos and rims. And I said that
Occupational
to say,
hazard, man.
well, you're right, Rail. You're right, but it's replaceable, right? And once
Occupational hazard.
again,
They know what they doing, man. They know what these ain't no fucking retards. This ain't no. I mean, I don't know if I can say that word, but
you can
you
say it
know,
on Outlaw Radio.
I don't know that they might label me an ableist and shit, you know.
Right?
But
That's what you are.
but these kids, like, dog, they know what they doing, and they know the law better than us, and that's what they bank on. You can't do shit to me, you know, like. So it's like, yeah, man, they should change the law to where you can protect your home, yourself, and your property. I mean, fucking with your car is fucking with your livelihood. You might be on strike 3 of you know, being late to work or some shit. That's still indirectly
You
fucking
know
with your
what?
livelihood and your
You know what
life.
you should have did before you said that? You should have hollered out Old Testament. Remember we talked
Oh,
about that? See, some of y'all want Old Testament law, some of y'all want New Testament law. I cannot say I think it's cool to shoot a teenager over. Now if he come in your house or you know, if it's a situation where, because you can protect your home, but I can't really say, because once again we talk about young Malcolm, we talk about young people, who a lot of black men who at one point were lost, right? Even Paul was Saul at one point, right? So that you got to have room for growth. You got to have you should be allowed to mess up. I just don't, you know,
I
I don't
got
want to
an
see the
18-year-old son and a 17-year-old son. And one
okay.
thing I always drilled into them is think before you act, because everybody is not privileged to live through a dumbass decision.
That's
So,
true.
I mean, my boy's 17 and 18, and if they was out here on bullshit and something happened to him, my heart would be broke because that's my child. But at the end of the day, occupational hazard. They knew what
Hmm.
they was doing. I know how I raised them. I'm hurt as fuck. But I deal with shit, cause and effect, consequence. You know what I'm saying? So and that ain't like to no respective person. I kind of live by that for whoever it is. So yeah, it's just a car, but this person is a deviant who, if allowed to go along that path, like I understand about Malcolm and Maya Angelou and shit like that. They was talking about, if they died when they was young, they would have died a pimp and a prostitute.
Right.
And thankfully they did get the time to get it right. But everybody doesn't have that privilege to live through a dumbass decision. And how many people are they out here hurting while they out here being dumb?
Right. It's a lot. Once again, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right?
True,
It's
true.
because for every point is a counterpoint, right? And
Right,
you know,
right.
we all right and we all wrong. Once again, we're all right, we all right, and we're all wrong. Outlaw Radio, man, on a Monday night. It's the end of the summer, and it's a lot going on. We're talking about that tonight. Chime in. My phone line is active. It'll I still can bring you in if you want to call into the show. That number's run across the bottom of the screen, 262-202-5131. If you want to call in, it's the end of the summer, and Tevin Campbell is gay. Who knew, right? Who knew, right? Like
What?
Tevin Campbell said, "Guess what, y'all? I'm gay." It's like, oh, we knew what you did. It's like the Brat and Tevin Campbell are two people who never had to come out, right? Like, it's
Man, these
okay.
motherfuckers be delusional. I don't know what world they be living in where they think it doesn't have to
Right,
be announced. I mean,
right,
it don't have to be
right,
announced by anybody. But I mean, come on, Tevin Campbell.
right,
How about
Like
so
that ain't
what?
no shocker.
How
Right.
about so what at
right,
this point?
right. Congratulations,
Right.
brother.
Yeah,
Congratulations, man.
made
Right,
it.
right. You made it. Mama made it. Gino
You
Hill said
win.
parents should be charged for their kids' crimes. It would change the world. I see, but then you remove the accountability, right? Like, so if I get mad at my mom, I'm gonna go out and run somebody over. Her ass gone to jail. I'm still at the crib chilling, right, or whatever.
Send them
I don't
both.
know. I don't. Right. I don't know. I used to work in the truancy abatement burglary suppression center, which is known as TABS. It used to be in Sherman Park.
Right.
And one of the things, I was a caseworker in which I stepped in when it got to the point where your kid went to TABS so many times that mama got a ticket. or daddy got a ticket. So
Mm.
then they sent me in to kind of go in there and try to do some case management and provide some services. And a lot of those parents weren't, they didn't really get proactive about it until they caught that ticket. Like, what the hell?
Right.
$500.
Right.
And then it's like, no, you come on over here, Mr. Barnes. We want to talk to this boy. So I up to a certain point, right? I do think there should be some culpability for a minor who is out here committing crimes, because the one thing that when Rel was talking about his van, or just the youngsters, a lot of the crimes that we've seen committed by young kids, they were already on probation, or they had already been arrested for kind of like the same crime, and they were out because they were minors, and they had been released. We see that with a lot of domestic violence. That's another thing we got to talk about this summer. The
Yeah, it's been
domestic
crazy,
violence.
man.
This has
It's
been
been
the summer
crazy.
of the woman beater. What the hell is up with that? We got to talk about that tonight. Let me see who else. My chat room is popping. Shout out to y'all. Andron said, because I believe we all have been in different situations where we was committing some type of harm or hurt, or where our lives could have been taken. I know I have, right? Like, I know I've been in the midst of some bullshit, right? And
I was just
and
out here fucking. Like
right. See,
I wasn't no deviant. I was a freak. I was out
yeah,
here
but
fucking at
that's
11.
risking, but that's
But
risking your life too. Because if I catch you with my
I mean,
daughter, because if I catch you with my daughter, you youngster,
shit.
I'm gonna snatch your wig off, man. So you still in harm's
What they,
way.
what they gonna say to me? That daughter was older than me. Like
Hey, listen,
I was,
hey man.
shit, man.
DJ
But I mean,
Quick said
I
you was
feel
in
what
the
you're
you was
saying.
in the shadow of death with two Trap 57 pointed at your chest.
I mean, shit
Yeah.
depends. I don't know. I think they probably thought I was zesty because I was a dude playing turning double dutch. I was turning double
Oh
dutch and doing
no,
all the head
you one of them
clap games. They
sneaky
probably
dudes, right? He's
shit.
sneaky.
It was hand claps when the parents were looking and doctor when they wasn't. So
Right. Out here messing with somebody's daughter. See, you need your little ass whooped. That's what I'm talking about. See, I wasn't doing nothing wrong. Yeah, you
I mean,
show.
I wasn't being on no criminal shit. Like
Well,
I've
technically,
always,
that's a crime. That's
I
statutory
mean.
rape. That's statutory rape. It's technically a crime, man.
Pussy and money has always been like I can't even understand stealing the car to joyride. That shit is wild to me. Now, it's still in the car to fill an order or some shit like that. I wouldn't do it, but I could understand it. But penitentiary chances for the sake of fun or fame,
I've
that
done
ain't
it.
never
I've done
me.
it. I
Put money
understand
on
it.
that shit.
I understand it.
I
It used to
can't.
be a good time to be, 5 deep or 6 deep in the pilly. We didn't call them strollers, we call them pillies, and just flying through
Pennies.
the city,
Right,
right?
right.
Grab a couple 40s, roll up a little bit, and believe me, it was stupid as hell, but I can't. I understand it. We did it. Shout out to Vince Tony. He said, "What's up, Outlaws?" No doubt,
What's
Vince. Great
happening?
show. We shouted you out, Vince. You had a great show last week when we were on. Londa Perkins said, "Yes, we are in need. We are indeed in a state of emergency on mental health in this city. Mental health is very, very, very crucial right now, or the
That's the
lack of mental health
biggest problem.
services." But see, I talked about this a couple years ago about the and not that they're not diagnosed, but they're not serviced. And you in the city, you just drive and you can see, it's 90 degrees. He got on a parka and some cowboy boots on the safety island, dancing to some music that ain't there. What do you think that is? You think, and these individuals are self-medicating, man. And that's the crack and the heroin and the pills or whatever. We used to call them all stars. They get high off whatever they can get their hands on, right? To quiet whatever is going on in their head. All this COVID money and all this money and funding that we got coming through the city, and even with our all black leadership, I'm still waiting on that. I'm still waiting on a comprehensive plan to deal with that. I haven't heard, hey, well, let's do this with mental health. Let's do that. I've heard, no, let's make the streets narrower. Let's do roundabouts so we can curb reckless driving. But I still
Right.
haven't heard a plan for homelessness. I haven't heard a plan to curb the poverty. I haven't heard of a plan to deal with the unemployment. Right now, everything we talk about is punitive. We're gonna give them more time. We're gonna let people shoot them in their ass when they're still in your car. Right, real?
Hey,
Yeah,
man, shit. I bought a BB gun, so I got options now.
right. Yeah, you definitely do. Londa Perkins said, and we had real teachers like you too, but sometimes the messages hit too late. They do. They do. And that's just the thing. Like, we got to figure out. See, I think people go at this the wrong way. What we need to do right now is to come up with a plan for our little kids, because some of these old dogs, you can't teach them new tricks. It's about
Right.
saving the little ones now. And see, once again, Mr. Mayor, Mr. County Executive, who wants to do affordable housing in the suburbs before addressing the ills of his own community. I ain't gonna say his name, David Crowley. Shout out to David Crowley, who's been a friend of the show. He was with that shit, right? Mayor Johnson, right? All y'all with these big, y'all got all these plans, but I don't. What about the babies, right? What about the poverty? The poverty is the cause of a lot of this shit. What about a plan for that? We won't build a new jail. You was just talking about investing in this new prison, this youth prison. What about
Yep.
what about a plan that could prevent the need for a new youth prison? We ain't talking about that. We talking about what we gonna do with them. How we gonna lock them up? We ain't saying how can we prevent them from becoming criminals in the first place. They know what they're doing, but don't understand the extent of the consequences. You know what? I think some of these kids don't care. I think they are some of their situations dictate that they just don't care. They can't even conceive of tomorrow what I'm gonna do tomorrow, what I'm gonna be when I grow up.
Right.
Who said I'm gonna grow up? I'm here to tell you a lot of y'all is gonna grow up, and you're gonna be old people, and you're gonna have a record a mile long, so you're gonna be stuck mopping some floor somewhere or scrubbing some toilets somewhere, and you're gonna be looking around like, how this happened to me, right? Because you didn't plan. You didn't plan to fail. You just failed to plan. Um, she said the survival mindset isn't reality. That's not what living is about. Well, it's not to a person unless they're in survival mode. You don't think it's a thing until you in survival mode. Like, cause everybody think I'm cool. I got somewhere to stay. I got something to eat. I got the ends to a means until you ain't got shit. And you got to say, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. Now it's survival instincts kicking in, like up, like I'm taking some shit from him. He don't need it. He got a job. He can get some more. George Terry said accountability. We talk about accountability all the time. We talking about the children or the parents who act the same way. There
Right.
we
Right.
go.
Right.
What was the lady's theme for the summer? Fuck nigga free summer. Was it like it wasn't hot girl?
Right. Right.
I'm
No,
old
it
as
was fuck
hell,
nigga
right?
Hey,
free.
that's that song. That girl that fell out that car window, man. That was right. That's what they was playing, right? Now her
Okay.
mama, now her mama trying to get the song banned.
I
I
didn't
don't
see
think
that.
I don't think the
What?
song had nothing to do with it, man. You know what I mean? It's about decision.
Right.
I didn't know that. I didn't know nothing about it.
I
A
ain't hear
girl
nothing
fell out a
about
car
that.
window while listening to
Yeah.
the song. Like,
Yeah, you know how they say hanging out the window with my ratchet ass friends, hanging
oh,
out
I
the
ne-
window
I've
with my ratchet ass friends and all that type of shit, and they be out the window hanging, riding with that shit. You know,
Kamar. I've
it's
never
just
heard this song. I've never heard that song. So I seen it, but I didn't know that was part of the song that they was talking about hanging out the. Oh wow,
yeah,
that's
that's
crazy.
what she say on the hook.
Oh okay, yeah. I didn't know. Because I'm like they say a hit dog holler when you say fuck nigga free. You ain't talking about me because I'm not a fuck nigga. So I ain't no need for
Right.
me to.
Right.
I ain't looking back. It's like I'm walking down the street and somebody say, bitch ass nigga. I'm not looking back. They obviously ain't talking to me. Right. So
Right.
ain't no need for me to respond. Wait a minute, men have died in DVs too this summer. Well, when it became funny when we had Samantha Collier on, who's over the domestic violence and working with domestic violence in the city, and I was talking about men like my partners. If I got a partner and you getting whooped by your girl, if you call me and you like looking for a shoulder to cry on, don't call me because I'm laughing at you. But this is real. This is real, right? Like, and there's a lot of women out here right now putting hands and feet on their boyfriends and their husbands. So,
Yeah.
brothers, if you out there and you getting stomped out by your girl on a daily basis, give us a call. Represent 262-202-5131. I said that jokingly, but I'm serious. Like I am because it's a thing, right? Like domestic violence is
It is.
serious in this city because this
It
It is.
definitely is,
how
bro.
many women were killed between June and July? And she's like she said, there's some men getting the foo fops put on them too. But like when I see women and children, like there's situations where the man is killing a woman and her daughter, and I keep saying, what the hell was they arguing about? Well, you killed her and her daughter. Like it's Milwaukee, man. Like it's once again that's something this summer will be remembered for. That's why I said, how will we remember this summer? Um, Beverly Williams said NPS removed tabs and said they were going to use the $400,000 for mental health. They did nothing, and folks need to ask NPS where the money is. NPS right now is 220 teachers short. Um, right now, they don't have after school programs for parents who need their kids so they can go, work and So MPS has some issues. There's still, and Miss Beverly will tell you about the money from MPS. Brother Posley's under fire. Uh, I would really like to know what the curriculum is. I don't. My kids, thank goodness, neither one of them are in MPS anymore. My son is, going to private school. Not that that's better, because I believe the kid has to play their part. But MPS, the options that I had for MPS was slim to none, because I like marking schools off like, well, you ain't going there, you ain't going there, you ain't going there. I didn't have too many options, right? So I'd like to know what is MPS doing? What part are they playing? See, I keep feeling like Mayor Johnson and Brother Crowley, before y'all start shipping us out to Waukesha and Wauwatosa, where they shooting us, shooting the shit out of us with no repercussions, because our district attorney, Mr. Chisholm, still refuses to charge any law enforcement officer with any kind of egregious act, no matter how many times they shoot them. That's where they want to put us at, right? You want to put us where they welcome a Kyle Rittenhouse with a bottle of water, and the Kenosha Guard, a right wing militia group, to help them control the city and protect the businesses, which results in people getting shot up, right? Thank God it wasn't no brothers and sisters that Rittenhouse shot, but low key they want to make him a hero still. He's still out here campaigning, or high siding and who riding, as we call it. But that's where you want us to go. That's where you want us. Let's build affordable housing out there. That's that bullshit. That's that bullshit, right? So, and I know, like I said, that brother's a friend of the show. But man, when you wrong, you wrong. And I know you got people pulling your strings. I know you got to do what they tell you to do so you can have that money to get reelected. But you can't. I always say, how you gonna balance the budget on the back of the poor people? That's blood money. That's blood money that you accept, and so you can accelerate gentrification by putting us out there where they shooting the shit out of us, and then don't do anything about the conditions that exist in the city. I mean, Mrs. Williams said, it's supposedly under fire. The local mainstream media does not report the stories. There's $100 million missing, and these stations, the Journal Sentinel knows. Oh, well, he's under fire because you putting him under fire, Miss Beverly. And a lot of people see what you do on Facebook. They see what you do on social media. They know about, and I just feel like a lot of people be like, I ain't got time. I got to go to work, because the city's income deprived. A large majority of our income goes to paying for somewhere to stay, somewhere to live. We got working poor. You working 2 jobs, but you still live below the poverty line to take care of your kids. Meanwhile, you ain't got time to go to the school. You ain't got time to be there to make sure they doing their homework, because you got to get to your second or third job, right? You working Walmart overtime. So once again, yeah, it's cool to come up with a new prison, right? So many people have come on my show, black people, and said, shit, I'd invest in it. If these black kids going anyways, that's where we at as black people. We willing to invest ourselves in private prisons to lock up. And who's getting locked up? Because we're not locking up white kids from Oconomowoc. We're not. You don't hear them talking about we need something done in Kewaskum for the white kids. You don't hear that.
Hey, I think it's more about not letting them be the only ones that get paid off of it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because we can do this, but then that money will get also trickle down to generations in our family, which could help the poverty line in our family, or the poverty thing in our family. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like we can probably use that to our advantage.
Yeah, back and forth. Back and forth, Kamar.
Back and forth with that all day, all night.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Back and forth, right?
And it really is just a matter of how you feel about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? As far as what you do, how you
Back
feel
and forth.
about it.
And on top of all that, Tevin Campbell is gay. Damn, who knew? Right? I can't stress that enough. Like, what? Tevin Campbell's gay?
I wasn't
How did that
expecting
happen?
that to come out.
You talk about, like, they could have kept that. Who cares though? Like, he ain't had a hit in 30 years. Like, I was just wondering, like, why is this news? But he was like, I identify as a gay man. We was like, well, we knew that. we thought you had been admitted that, right? Like, but I know, man, it's a running joke. Chat room on deck, man. Outlaw Radio, back and forth. Everybody has an opinion. What did you say the other day, Real? You put up the post. I think it was in the Word Mob, in our Word Mob in our word mob group.
Uh, when brother Taj Tariq Bey was going against Imam Babyface,
Yeah,
they was
yeah.
yeah. I said I fuck with Taj because he tries to come scholarly with research material, but the other cat just emotional. I said,
Okay.
but when you ride with opinions, opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one, and most of them full of shit.
There we
So
go.
so
Back and forth.
I try to come with shit they can research.
Right. Right. Yeah, MPS is in trouble, man. And all our black superheroes who we got elected, flexing their muscles, uh some got to be done. I hope they got a plan for this. Yeah. Like, cause I talked to Chris Johnson and Robert Miranda. The lead pipe laterals are still a problem. It hasn't gone anywhere. The city of Milwaukee was awarded hundreds of millions of dollars for COVID relief money. I still ain't heard no comprehensive plan. This is where people were critical of Mayor Johnson, saying he was Barrett's lapdog because Barrett didn't want to address the lead pipe laterals because he was scared of some legal ramifications that the city may have to assume in these lead pipe laterals and lead poisoning for our kids. If anybody knows anything about lead poisoning, you know that this impulsive behavior and this violent behavior and this lack of impulse control are direct symptoms of lead poisoning, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so you don't hear anything, brother Chevy, brother Cavalier, whatever your name is. I can't ever remember, so I just say Mayor Johnson. You don't hear that. But y'all came together. Y'all came together to get that sister out of OVP, right? And we're gonna talk about that too, because when we talked about Ashanti Hamilton being placed over the Office of Violence Prevention, the brother Jermaine Reed, who's working with domestic violence, stepped down. You know why? Because Ashanti Hamilton was convicted of beating his own daughter with a clothes hanger, and he's now the head of the Office of Violence Prevention. I wish I had my roadcaster. I can't give him a want, man. I can't get,
Man,
I can't give him a
Damn.
want. Um,
big fail.
big fail. Thank you, Kumar. Big fail. Right? Cronyism at its finest. And also, isn't it funny that he gave Ashanti Hamilton this job when Ashanti Hamilton got with peeping Tom Bob Donovan against him? He endorsed Bob Donovan against Mayor Johnson. So what's really going on here? Right? What kind of game is being played down there? Somebody tell us. 262-202-5131. It's Outlaw Radio back and forth. The brother Rail said their opinions is like assholes. Everybody got one. It's usually full of shit. I cracked up when I seen that in our word mob group. I said, Rail boy, that boy, Rail, you put up posts all the time on Facebook that have me laughing. Some of them is triple X rated. Like I'm just like, this dude, we got to
you know,
get you a segment.
I try
We
to
got to
say
get
what
you a segment.
everybody else is thinking, but too afraid to say.
Miss
You know,
Beverly,
so
you
that
are live on Outlaw Radio. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear Miss Beverly. Go ahead.
Hi, Kevin.
oh
How
yeah.
you doing?
We're good.
I was listening. I was listening to everything you were saying and putting my comments in. You had mentioned tabs. You know, the truancy abatement program that during the George Floyd protest, um, there were two board members who got rid of tabs, and they took that $400,000 that they used to pay for tabs, and they said, "Well, we're going to use this for mental health." But then, just recently, as you know, at Rufus King High School, they had the shooting during the basketball game. And then you had the King students out there saying, "We need mental health." So what happened to that $400,000? You know, and the community really needs to sit back. And like you said, a lot of people don't really have the time sometimes to really be concerned, but they need to start being concerned because you look at the news and you see all these board members and walk at wherever they are, Wauwatosa and everybody else trying to talk about sex education, this, that, and the other, and the room is full. And Milwaukee Public Schools is the only school district in the state for the last 2.5 years who do not allow parents in that administration building. And they also do not have open school board meetings for parents to attend. They make it virtual, and they make it a tedious event as far as trying to get on to speak during their board meetings. They're having a board meeting tomorrow virtually. Every school district in the state for these Caucasian parents, they have open board meetings, and they're allowing the parents to come in and whomever else and speak at their board meetings. But in the city of Milwaukee, they're not allowing these black parents to come in. They say they don't want them in the administration building, and they do not want them in the board meeting. But yet, they can make the students and the teachers go into the school building. And see, the folks need to. I don't know. Folks need to be more aware of that. You know, as far as the $100 million that's missing, yes, it's missing. You know, right now they're missing 200 and something teachers, and they don't have access programs. They don't have enough staff for that. Well, you know, where's that $100 million? You know, I mean, it's true. It really is true. I mean, eventually, I guess maybe it'll come out. Maybe it'll come out after the election. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. They gave each school, what was it, $150,000, which was supposed to add staff. Last year, they gave them.
Right. Well, no, it wasn't 150,000. Out of the millions of dollars they received in COVID funds, which was close to 700 million, and then combined with the state funding and all the other funding, it was over $2.1 billion the NPS received. They only gave each school in the district $100,000 and told them to use that money to get technology. What kind of technology you going to get? And to hire staff. What, staff for a year? You know, you get a pair for $18,000 a year for 1 year, and possibly get another teacher for $40,000 or more a year, and then buy a few computers with $100,000 out of $21 billion. Come on now.
Yeah, where's the money?
Then they had the ESSA funds report, and on the ESSA funds report, they only gave now listen to this. NPS has what? Don't even think they have 75,000 students anymore. I think they may have 67,000. They gave only I have the report, $79,000 for student services. Period. Out of $2.1 billion, and our parents in this city, okay, are just they're just not concerned.
Wow.
But someone needs to be concerned because it's about the education of these students.
Well, we got a new prison coming, so we ain't really worried about it because we're gonna lock their ass up.
Yo, please. And that's another thing, Kevin. Real quick, I'm not gonna try to take up time on your show. Give too much time. They have this juvenile prison. I think they're building it off of Mill Road. They don't have, we don't have a representative anymore because of what happened, the unfortunate events with Chantel Lewis. So they're going to build these juvenile prisons in this area or District 9, 11, whatever it is. And they did not even have any meetings with the black folks in this area. They didn't even have any meetings to say, okay, this is what's going to happen when you build a juvenile prison in this district. Your home values may decrease. This might happen. That might happen. They did nothing. They don't give a doggone, okay? They said, we're going to build it here and with you around all of you folks who, homeowners or whatever. We don't care what you think, what you feel. But they would not have done it on the south side. They would not have done it on the side. They did not have a meeting, a discussion with folks in this area.
Wow.
Not one discussion about that juvenile prison. Now, I know there were folks out here fighting for the juvenile prison to be in the, closer to the families of some of these juvenile offenders, okay? But it's about respect. Now, if there's not an older person in that district, okay, how are you going to just put a juvenile prison in that district without speaking to the mostly black folks in that district or giving them some respect? Folks need to speak up. Folks need to speak up.
Most
definitely. If they would have had a meeting on the south side, they would have had a packed room.
Yeah.
with folks wanting to know, okay, if you build this juvenile prison in this area, will home values decrease? What has happened in other areas where you built these juvenile prisons? Did home values decrease? They don't care. They don't care. So yeah, there's a lot going on in this city, and you have folks like me and you and Vince Tony and a lot of whole other folks out here, trying to make the community aware, you know. But the community needs to stand up too.
Yeah.
It gets to a point.
We agree.
It gets to a point.
We agree. Well, you got to keep your foot on their neck, Miss Beverly. You got to keep doing what you do.
I most definitely. And so those listeners you have, although I post in the People's News Network and other sites like Glow Radio, Milwaukee Empire, place things like People's Revolution, over 300 sites. But my Facebook groups too. You can go to Hypocrisy Milwaukee Public Schools, Community Takeover Milwaukee Public Schools, Take a Stand Today. I mean, those are some of the sites.
That's right.
I would like the community to get more involved, and I appreciate you, Kevin. I appreciate your show.
No, thank you. We appreciate your support, Miss Beverly. You just got to keep doing what you got to do, right? We always say we do this for a cause and not applause. So sometimes you just got to persevere. You just got to keep going. Because
absolutely,
I could talk about a lot of gossip and talk a lot of shit and call people names, and I probably would get thousands of views, but I just can't. I just have to talk about what's real and deal with the core people who I deal with, and we just keep it pushing like that, right? Information to save the nation.
That's what I do.
Yep.
That's what I do. And shout out to Miss Dodd if she's listening.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Okay, all right, Kevin.
You have a good night, Miss Beverly.
You too. Bye bye.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, if you want to call in, you want to be a part of the conversation, man, bang the line, man. 262-202-5131. It's Outlaw Radio, back and forth on a Monday night. A lot going on. Melody Williams is in the chat room. She said they don't care because the people don't care and speak out. We asked this question a bunch of times. What is it going to take for the black community in Milwaukee to get polarized? Because everything that you can imagine has happened. You want to talk about innocent black people being murdered. You want to talk about policy that doesn't benefit us. You want to talk about unequal treatment. You want to talk about uneven justice system where the conviction rate is disproportionate for our white counterparts for the same crimes. You want to talk about a police force that's ineffective. You want to talk about a failing public school system. All of these things have happened, and Milwaukee is still asleep. We still sleep, man. But you know what? I think I said this a long time ago. Sometimes you got to party in order to bring people in, because we do. And shout out to everybody who goes to the off the porch concerts and all this kind of thing. But what you need to do is you need to sneak something on these people. Yeah, you had that music bumping, you had that liquor flowing, you got the food trucks out there, then pop up some voter registration. Then pop up some people to be able to come down there and speak to the community and talk about community issues. Hey, I ain't going to take up too much of y'all time, but in between these songs, I want y'all to know about $100 million missing from MPS. If you got a student in MPS, let me hear you say, ho, right? Like, you got to put it like that for black people, right? You got to tell them to throw their hands in the air, right? Like, let me hear you scream. If you say, ah, you know what you're screaming about? You're screaming about the poverty rate that 40% of black Milwaukee lives up. And they go, wait. Who invited this motherfucker to the party?
Right.
You can't come to the off the porch concert no more. Shout out to the brothers, man. Shout out to them, man. Yeah, man, it's a lot. It's a lot going on, man. Did y'all see the little kid? I keep telling my people, don't cry wolf about racism, because they'll do something that's going to require our full attention. The little black little league player, they got the little league World Series going on, and they put the white kids putting the cotton on the black kid's head, and he was sitting there. And now, first of all, these are little kids, right? And I don't necessarily want to get on little kids. Because they are still blank canvases, right? They go off what they're taught. And I seen, when I read the story about it, it's in the People's News Network, by the way, they stated that the kids weren't aware that they were doing something racist. They were just having fun. My problem is with the little black boy though. See, all this tolerance shit that y'all be teaching, all of this I don't see color shit that y'all be teaching, all of this we're not going to talk about history, we're not going to go back and do critical race theory. We don't want white kids to feel like they're being victimized and all. This is what you get. You get passive little black kids. See, when I was 10, a group of white kids couldn't have had me sit and put white cotton on my head. Everybody in that dugout would have got their ass whooped. And my mother would have been like, yeah, when they call home, my mother said, you goddamn right. They shouldn't have been putting no goddamn cotton on his head. That's what he's supposed to do. But we got our kids rocked to sleep because we're telling them, see, and this comes down to black masculinity too. Because when you as a black man is teaching your son, there's certain things you just don't allow. They telling us that's wrong. Don't teach that little boy that. Don't tell him that. And black men saying, okay, my bad. That's why I say not me. Because I'd have told my son, period. And if he'd have done it and I seen it, when he came home, I would have been more upset with him than I was with those white kids. Because I would have been like, why would you sit your ass up there and let them little white kids put that cotton on your head, right? So back and forth, because I know everybody got, a difference of opinion. But it was this racism or was this just some kids having fun? Have y'all seen this with the cotton and the fact that they use cotton and he had an afro? Yeesh. It looked bad, and it's baseball, right? Right. Happy anniversary, Jackie Robinson. This is what you produced. So what would you have told your son, Rail, if he came home with a bunch of you went to pick him up from his game and he got in the car and he had cotton stuck in his fro? And hey, Dad, would you say, hey, son, how you doing? And just drove home.
Man, I don't even know, man. That's a good ass question. Like I said, them hypotheticals, you never know until you go through them. I didn't see nobody else get fucked with though. So I mean, it looked right. I mean, I didn't see no white kids get nothing put on their head. So that makes it seem very racist.
Well, they said that they were emulating somebody's hairstyle or whatever, and this is like another kid who got. I don't know. I just think the symbolism of it. When we talk about Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben, and we talk about this kind of stuff. When you see a little black kid with a bunch of cotton balls stuck to his head, and he's sitting there happy, like, "Hey, my teammates love me. You are the mascot, little Sambo is what they call you." Ewok the Great was popping in Arizona.
Man, it's all good, man. Look like it's about to thunderstorm out here. Shit, the other day, big ass tree fell down, damn near hit my car around this motherfucker. But man, what I wanted to talk about, man, was this critical race theory. So they so scared of this. It's not even taught in K through 12. You know what I'm saying? It's an advanced college course, first of all. But they talking like that is being taught in in regular schools and shit. This is a college course and it's a special course. But they put it out there. Anyway, my point is, all it is true American history. They say critical race theory. That's like a scary. It's the boogeyman type of word. You know, that you gonna scare our kids into thinking that they did something wrong. But then here you go with these motherfuckers putting cotton balls in people's head and shit. You know what I'm saying? So if that's taught, maybe that wouldn't have happened. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they would have knew not to be doing no shit like that. No, they want to continue to be able to do that square ass shit and don't have no consequences behind it. You know what I'm saying? That's some bullshit.
Stephen Kidmore McCoy said white kids had the cotton on their heads too, but Ewok. But what you just said was critical because if the reality of what has happened to us in this country was taught, those little white kids would have known. They would have said, "Well, no, let's not do that." Yeah, the correlation between black people and cotton, and let's not do that, right? But the controversy about critical race theory was they wanted to introduce teaching it to little kids, right? And that's when our representatives got upset. Now, the funny part with that is here in Wisconsin, one of those late night sessions with the Wisconsin State Supreme Court, they hurry up and tried to pass that bill about teaching black kids, how to be respectful to law enforcement officers. Right. So we don't want to teach you what really happened with your history, but we want you to respect them law enforcement officers. Yes, sir. No, sir. I sorry, boss, for speeding. Please don't beat me with your stick. right? And I'm paraphrasing, right? Obviously, in my excellent
So I'm guessing
slave dialect.
so I'm guessing it was a white man that said what the white kids had caught that they had too and shit.
I don't know. I don't. The brother Steven, he's a supporter of the show. He's usually pretty factual. Everybody who I tend to have,
Okay, well, whoever that was, man, look here. That's just like Donald Trump taking all them documents and shit and knowing damn well he wasn't supposed to have them at home for homework and shit for the fucking Oval Office to his house. And then he gonna say, well, Barack Obama did too. Barack Obama ain't took shit home from no damn White House, and they know damn well he did. They always try to throw some motherfucking smoke to cover up what the fuck they done did wrong.
I got to disagree with you because damn well Michelle and them took some forks and some spoons. Goddamn well right now at Barack and them house, they got some White House forks and spoons and plates. Shit.
Hey, but they didn't have no goddamn nuclear secrets on the motherfuckers. They described in the motherfuckers. Fuck you doing? That ain't all work, nigga. That ain't all work. What you doing taking that shit to the crib and shit, man? That ain't for you.
Barack still got that robe on, walk around the house. Man, you supposed to turn that in when you move out, brother. Fuck that. I was going to take this. It's my robe now.
Michelle, I did 8 years.
Right. Michelle, get those good forks. Get those good forks out. We're going to barbecue. Nah, you right though. You right. You right though. I think the symbolism of it for me is what bothers me the most. Even if the white kids done it, it's just like, okay, so if white kids put on blackface and then one of the black kids say, "I'm gonna do that too," like, does it make it cool? Nah, it's still not cool. Right? It's the symbolism of it. Just to see that little black boy, like the way he was just passive, sitting there letting them do it was a problem to me. Because in my crazy mind, I'm thinking, what else would he allow them to do to him and just sit there?
Hey,
right?
I blame it on his parents.
You don't wanna alter what happened. You wanna whataboutism your way out of what the fuck was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Go ahead, Kamar.
I take a look at the little black boy parents. Why they ain't teaching him shit to know better?
That's true. I mean, because some of us go along to get along, and obviously he's in. Because how many kids really play little league baseball? It's an economic thing now. It's a lot of money to play it. So you affluent community. You notice when the Chicago kids from the ghetto get down there, they go to checking birth certificates and all kinds of shit. Like, oh, you motherfuckers got to go. Your coach got a felony. But so obviously he's from some affluent area where it's some of those go along to get along parents who say, no, little LaRon. That's fine. They're your teammates. They love you. Look, they're doing it too. Right? So it's like, nah, right. So
well, I got one more before I let y'all fellas go, man. This one for Rail, man. Rail, you still there?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Hey, dig this, man. We've been waiting about 5 years, Yeah, they got Trump this time. They got him this time. Every time you think they got him, you know what I'm saying? He weaseled his way out of some shit. But my opinion is, I think they gotta do about this shit, man. Do you think this is the one that they gonna get him or not?
Man, you know what? They've been going back and squaring up all their grudges. So I mean, they might have them this time. But my thing is, they probably need to go ahead and turn some of that investigations into Biden's son shit. Look at his computer and shit like that. But yeah, they well now, you know what? That's a good ass question because I mean they going at him hard, but then Trump is Trump. So Trump is Trump. You know what I'm saying, man? OG Trump.
Yeah, man. I'm sure Trump got to be down with some Crips or something from somewhere. He got some tattoos.
Yeah, too long. That's OG Trump, man.
Yeah, he a gangster disciple or something. He got some ties, right? I'm gonna blame it on
them. I
them.
think they blowing smoke up our ass. They ain't gonna do shit.
They gotta distract people, man. I don't think they're
gonna do shit, man. It's just kind
of, right. All this shit, like, man. That's why I hate this season, man. Like, I hate politics, period. But man, when it comes to politics and like them seasons, you get so much bombardment, and it looked like a lot of it be from Democrats. They willing to spend that bread to sway public opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like all I'm hearing is he let teens buy AR-15s and
That's a
that's
Republican though. Tim Michaels is a
yeah.
Republican though who's saying that.
Right. You know, but
You
I'm
said
saying like with
Democrat.
all no, I'm just saying like they usually pumping shit into they usually spend the most money on like the propaganda. But no, I'm saying just as far as the political commercials all together,
Right.
is
Okay.
you hear AR-15s and then climate control, well not climate
Abortion.
control, what they say,
Abortion. Yeah. It's
abortion and climate change
AR-15 and abortion and
and climate change.
it's taking. That's what I hate about partisan politics too. When you try to take some real serious human issues and politicize them, and knowing and the reality of it is neither party's gonna do shit about it either. Like the Republicans ain't gonna do no more than the Democrats are. Both of y'all, as these
Right.
kids say, it's all cap, as these kids say. I'm
Two
getting up
wings
on
on
my
the
young
same
people
fucked
shit.
up
It's all
bird,
cap.
man.
Y'all hear me? I said it's all cap. No. With my old ass, right? I
but
already
yeah,
know
it's
train
just
to go, TTG, right? We learned that before we left.
it's just two wings on the same fucked up bird, man.
Yeah, man.
But now I
Ewok,
can't even enjoy my music because of this shit. All the political commercials.
I think Ewok. Shout out to Ewok, man. Shout out to Rick Muhammad. I see you, Rick. My brother Ram in the chat room. Chime in, man. It's Outlaw Radio, back and forth, Hump Day edition. Haven't been on for a while, man. My old ass and my bad back, man. I gotta do something about it. You know what though? I've made up my mind, man. I'm gonna make some health decisions. I'm gonna stop treating myself like I'm Colt Seavers. I am no longer the fall guy. I'm no longer the unknown stunt man. Uh, Got to make some health decisions, man. Trying to change that diet is a hard thing, man. Because I can't order a sandwich without saying double. I gotta stop saying double. I don't know how to stop saying double. Every time I pull up to a restaurant, I say I'm gonna get me a salad. But when I get to the speaker, I'll be like, let me get a double and fuck around and be like, and add bacon. And so I gotta get away from that, man. Kamar, I'm gonna talk to you off the air about some stuff, some things that I want to start doing in terms of some supplements. But my big ass gotta somebody I heard of Bill Maher, who I don't like because he's an atheist, stated, he said, you ever seen a fat 90-year-old? And I thought about it. Like, no, you haven't. Right. So
Yeah.
I gotta get rid of some of this excess, right? And so want to live a little bit more healthy, making that decision, going to have to step away from the vodka a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If y'all out there, some of y'all say, I don't drink no way. Well, good for you, motherfucker, because I does, especially. And when I got time, I will swallow some shots. So it's just about making better decisions. That's why I always try to tell people, you don't hear us on this show taking this kind of like superior perspective, like we're all perfect or we got all the answers. Everybody on this show can admit that we still got work to do. But it's if you're willing to do
Yeah,
the work
man,
or
I'm
not.
fucked up.
I'm taking care of
Yeah,
business.
I'm fucked up still. Every
Right.
day I'm finding new shit about myself that I need to work on, man.
Man, I had a big ass salad today, man. Just because the same reason you said, man. Because I had to go to the doctor the other day just to get that checkup and shit. And he was like, "Oh, what happened? You like I ain't been there in a year and a half, but I guess
Uh-oh.
apparently I gained 30 pounds in that year and a half.
He said
So
You say
apparently,
apparently,
allegedly,
I'm
apparently.
saying, well, shit. So
allegedly.
I mean, but this was me, like in my book and shit. You see how small I got, man. That shit was. I don't know if you can see it, but no, I'll be looking at the book like, God damn, yeah, let me get on it. So I had a salad today, like, and that's what I've been doing, salads and teas today. I said 30, shit. That's too close to that 352. That was my heaviest. You know what I'm saying? So
And it's
so
all bad when
I
the
guess
doctor
I'm getting back on
when he take a deep breath before he he go,
it.
well, Mr. Barnes, it's like, oh shit, what's wrong? But
Ah,
but
shit,
the thing
yeah.
about the salad is even the bad habit for me is I'm putting everything on the salad,
Ah,
right? I might
yeah.
as well just eat a
Yeah.
cheeseburger. I
It
got
be that
bacon bits,
breadless
I got
sandwich.
croutons. My wife be like, "Why are you even eating a salad? Like, just eat a
Right,
burger."
right,
It's like, man, I used to get
right,
those salads from Pick and Save, and when they weigh it, you had to pay by it's like $13. Like,
uh-huh.
that's not a salad, bro.
Right. I remember
That's a
them
snack
days,
bowl.
man.
right? Like, so it's like, we got a healthy
Hey, but you
habits,
know
man.
what though, Kev? It's a step up from what you was doing.
Okay,
Right, right.
I
And,
ride
and
with
that's how
that.
you gotta look at it.
You
You
gotta
gotta take the
count your
baby
wins,
steps.
man. You know what I'm saying, and
Yeah,
appreciate them.
Right, you right,
Really,
you
really,
right.
that's
yeah,
that's the key, man. You gotta count them little
yeah.
small wins too. Congratulate yourself. Make
Right,
you want to do something else.
right.
Yeah, man. But I think the first step to it is admitting it. Like, and once
Yeah.
again, when we talk
Yeah.
about our people, a lot of us can't deal with some of our issues because we won't admit the shit, right? Like, it
Yeah.
ain't me, or either we'll look at somebody else and say, I ain't as bad as him. Look at dude though. Look, I ain't doing that, and
Right.
that's why I say we all right and we all wrong at the same time. Outlaw Radio on a Wednesday night, and allegedly, Tevin Campbell's gay, right? Don't tell nobody, right? Don't you ain't heard it
I'll
from
be
us, right?
damned.
I
And guess what?
should
The brat is too. Who knew, right?
right, right.
Somebody listen. We used to do a segment on the show called Hold On Player. I don't have once again I don't have my roadcaster tonight, so I can't really hit my sound effects. Somebody go get Herschel Walker ass and sit him down. Herschel Walker is setting black people. Every time he opened his mouth, he's setting black people back 10 years. And he's running for office in Georgia. And the crazy part is he's the front runner for the Senate, I believe. The latest thing, and he said a lot of dumb shit. I mean, because I could go all night, and we've talked about some of the dumb shit he said, but he didn't want to
Mhm.
participate in the latest debate because he said, well, I don't really want to do it because I want to watch Sunday night football. But the debate is on a Thursday night. Somebody
You
go get
big
Herschel
dummy.
Walker. Somebody.
You big dummy.
Ernest Walker said, I ain't no kin to that fool. Oh, yeah, it's your cousin. Look, when he was running touchdowns in the NFL, you walk around with his jersey on. The black people disown your ass quick. I don't know, dude. That ain't he come with us. I see Dennis Rodman. He changed his mind real quick. He had jumped up, said he was gonna
Right,
go over there and get Brittany Griner. Sleepy Joe and
right,
them said, if you don't sit your ass down, you think Vladimir's playing? You fuck around, go over there and get locked up too.
right,
Dennis said, I'm
Nigga,
good.
you gonna get stuck over there.
right,
Right. You can't catch a plane to save your life. Dennis said, I'm good. Good luck, Brittany. So,
right,
uh,
right.
and then I seen where there's a judge. Shout out to Tierman Spencer, who is the black city attorney, the first black city attorney we've had in the history of our city, who's been on the show many times. A friend of the show, I can say that, and somebody who I'm real cool with because we've spoken off the air, had some real productive conversations. He was warned because he asked for a delay in a civil rights case, a pending civil rights case, and this judge went off. He went off on Tierman. I'm tired of the tactics that you've employed. Somebody needed to whisper into that judge's ear and say, hey, man, this has been the tactic of the city attorney for 30 plus years. This is what his predecessor, Grant Langley, did forever, right? I'm tired of them blaming every goddamn thing on Tierman Spencer. Tierman Spencer, you see what happened at the fire serve? Wasn't nothing but Tierman Spencer now. He in the sexual assault. He just stuck his finger in the white girl butt up in the office. He did it in the office. Like, I'm sick of it. It's becoming so plain to see that you are doing all of this to this brother because he is a black man who does not want to play ball with you all. He's obviously shown that he's not going to operate the way you want him to do. He's a maverick. And so does he bear some has he done some wrong things? I'm pretty sure he has, because I just said we all right and we all wrong, right? But all of the stuff that they put on Tierman Spencer, a lot of his trumped up charges in the kangaroo court, a lot of his people who come in and want to do things their way, not understanding this is the boss. The one thing about it, when you hire a black man as the boss, a black man, I'm not talking about a step and fetch it, and especially an older black man who been around and been been off the porch, he gonna tell you, hold on, goddamn it, who the boss? Read what that tag say. I'm the but you do what I say. You get your ass up out of here, and you just leave. I'm gonna say he sexually assaulted me. He said I had pretty toes, right? Like, so it's just if y'all, and look, because check this out. The more stuff you accuse Tierman of, I'm gonna make sure I vote for him again. And I want black people to. This is when I talk about intentional solidarity, to show them that we are one. We're one nation. This is the kind of shit I'm talking about. We want to show them. We're gonna vote for him again. If you can vote for Trump, it's still Trumpers out here talking about they stole the election, right? It's still white people who won't admit all of the foul shit that Trump did. If you can ride with yours, I'm riding with mine, right? So when Tierman run again, I'm at the point where I don't care what he do, right? I really don't. He busting in his office, he on the desk with some young chick. Shit, was it consensual? Go ahead, Tierman. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of black people being ostracized because they refuse to go along to get along, man. So I reached out to Tierman. He said he's doing okay. He said we got to talk. So I already know what that means. I'm gonna get a phone call. He gonna say, "Hey, brother, how you doing?" And we gonna get to try. Tierman drops jewels when I speak to him. He always tells me, listen, young brother." And I just called to tell you this, and then it'd be like 2 hours of him just telling me that, right? Shout out to Tierman Spencer, man. What else we got? Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, who has this big just this phenomenal all these accusations with these women who apparently Deshaun Watson is some sort of freak, right? Like he likes to go to get massages and get happy endings and whatnot. And there was this whole litigation. He was tried by 2 grand juries and he was exonerated by both of them, right? He missed a year of football last year. He was suspended 6 games this year. They came back in and said, that's not enough. And so they gave him 11 games this year, right? My thing about this is Robert Kraft, who's the owner of the New England Patriots, was busted going into, guess what? A massage parlor last year, Super Bowl weekend. And he had been frequenting that establishment for a long time, getting happy endings. They just so happened to have the feds in there that day. He got caught. Did he have to walk away from his team for 6 games? Was he suspended? He still owns the Patriots. I don't hear nobody saying nothing about it. Ben Roethlisberger assaulted white woman after white woman in the club. At one point, you seemed like he wouldn't stop. But he's Big Ben. He won a couple Super Bowls. He's had something to say about Deshaun Watson. And then I run into RG3, Robert Griffith III. I'm watching. I told y'all I live in the podverse. I'm always on YouTube. I'm always watching everybody's podcast, everybody's show. I'm watching ESPN, Robert Griffin III, who's making his way as a commentator after somewhat of a shaky pro football career. And rookie of the year, whatever. It's a long story. But he's going in on the NFL about, and this is a shame what this says about how the NFL treats women and this and that. And, Deshaun Watson, he's doing all of this. Never mentions Robert Kraft. Never mentions Ben Roethlisberger. What's the white boy who a couple years ago, who's the kicker, who's beating the hell out of his wife, had a whole contract and was getting extensions in New York? I can't remember his name. There's been several white NFL players who've been left for the law. Not a word, not a peep. RG3 didn't say their name. He didn't speak up on them. But mind you, this is the same dude who came out and talked about how proud he was of his white woman. His words, not mine. He talked about how proud he was to have a beautiful white woman. And he loves his white woman. This is who they put on TV, right? This is who these little kids see who sit and allow white kids to put cotton in their head. Tell me the influence ain't great, right? I just want Robert Griffith to know we see you, brother. We see you. We see you doing that dance. But have you ever heard of a brother named Orenthal James who once said everybody can't beat Martin Luther King, right? Yeah, you ever seen any of these tap dancing Negroes have they nigga moment when they are reminded ultimately that, yeah, you might have danced for us and been a good little Sambo, but at the end of the day, son, you're just a nigger. You'll get it. They'll give it to you because that's what they do. So, in the neighborhood, we always say, watch your mouth, punk. That's what we say. Watch your mouth, punk. Maybe that's a Capitol Drive thing, man. You better watch your mouth, punk. So when you get told that on Capitol, it's somebody mad at you, right? Hey, man, you need to watch your mouth, punk. I'm telling Robert Griffith that, boy, because the same Negroes you step on your way up to the top of the pile with your beautiful white woman, you're going to fall right back past them on your way back down to the bottom of the heap. Ask brother Tiger Woods. Tiger was wondering, I'm not black. I'm Indo-China. What he made up a race to say he wasn't black. Till that white woman went ham on him. Bust his windows out, whooped his ass. He crashed the car trying to get up out his own driveway. Ain't been the same Tiger since. Rawr. Right? Go ahead, Tiger. Right? So, you can play like you want to. We see you, man. We see you. I think Ice Cube said it. You might have a heart attack when you find out the black folks don't want you back. Right? Watch your mouth, punk. Watch your mouth. Because if you're gonna call us out, call everybody out. If you're gonna diss the black man, diss the white man too. It can't be exclusive to us. I know, I get it. You put on a tight ass suit, you come on there, you smile, you saw them big ass teeth, them big ass veneers. You and Lonnie Love is the same. Why don't y'all just get together and have puppies? Right? Two coons.
Puppies.
Right. Because that's all Lonnie Love can produce, right? Everybody knows my disdain for that big back humpback whale Lonnie Love, right? With her two flutes and a cot looking ass. I'm sorry. I digressed right there. I'm sorry. Because I'm normally not against black people, but when you coon and you sambo so hard, I'm like Marcus Garvey, man. The boat is pulling off without you, man. But yeah, I don't know if y'all seen RG3 and how disgusted he was about what the NFL says about women. It's funny how the NFL can say all this. You can come on Deshaun Watson, but you got people who've literally turned their brains into applesauce playing your game that you refuse to give money for medical. The NFL right now is in trouble for race norming, right? Go into People's News Network and read the article about how they felt black players were of inferior intelligence and how they didn't want to play the black players because they black. They was dumb anyways, right? This is your NFL that you sticking up for, Robert, right? Robert, you and your pretty white girl. Watch your mouth, punk. Watch your mouth, man. We see you. Who else we got? Chicago just crossed the threshold of 400 homicides.
Dang.
Exactly. 400 homicides. The year ain't even over. It ain't even too much you can say about that. But just I'd like for the black people to look at each other in Chicago and say, what the hell we doing? What's going on? Can we blame is this the Klan? Is it a Nazi party in Chicago that I'm unaware of? And it seemed like that Chicago mentality is leaked and kind of permeated here in Milwaukee, right? Because we're going to bust this homicide record again. We're going to bust it again. 400 homicides, though. And I get it's a bigger city. What is it, 3 million people in Chicago? Something like that? I don't know. 400 homicides. That's savage. And you telling me nothing can be done about that? I feel like we're playing right now in an arena and they sitting around watching us and you say, are you not entertained? I believe they are. I believe they kicking themselves. I believe they laughing their ass off. Say, look at them. Look at them. They're so fucking crazy. And then every now and then they stick their toe in the pool and come do a mass shooting, 2030, and get taken to Burger King on the way to jail. It ain't all bad, but it ain't all good either, man. I just get a little frustrated, man. How y'all feel, man? We talked about how we gonna remember this summer. Steve Hitmore McCoy said have puppies. Right, man. Y'all gonna have some puppies, man. RG3 and Lonnie Love, man. Gonna have some puppies. Right. And I do love babies, so I shouldn't insulted the babies, but fuck both of them. I can't stand the coon, man. It's the same way when I'm looking at Serena, right? She about to stop playing tennis. So, the violin music gonna stop now. So what you gonna do now, Serena? And you notice when you see her now, they make her look more and more masculine. I remember the days when Serena actually looked like a female when you would see her on TV. When I see her now, she looked like she in the WWE. I'm like, what are they doing to her? Who's doing her makeup? Like, what the hell is going on? I don't know. Coincidentally, ever since she married the white man, things have gotten progressively worse. Just my opinion, back and forth. Some people say, Kev, you wrong. You wrong. I might be. But I'm willing to be wrong sometimes, If I can tell my truth, it's worth somebody saying, dog, you wrong. I just get it off my chest, man. Wrap it up for us, real. What this summer? Because we got to put a bowl in this summer, man. Because it's about to get cold. What's your commentary on this? On all of this, everything we talked about tonight?
Shit. Mental health. Mental health needs to be addressed. I mean, even with the killers and shit like that. I mean, I think, like, I honestly don't know. I have to do some research. But I'm trying to figure out if it's like more guns now than it was in the like Wild West days. Because I mean, there hasn't been a time in history where people didn't carry their protection. I mean, even in medieval days, people had their sword on their hip, no different than people had a gun on their hip. But I think now, again, dealing with fake ass food and weird ass social constraints and social engineering, I think mental health is the biggest issue. I mean, even now, still like one of the number one killers of men is suicide. You know, by their own gun. So even then, mental health, man, shit, we all can use a little bit more help and shit. Hopefully that teach these kids to find their purpose and do something more productive with their time than cause other people grief. Hopefully it allows some of these parents to spend more time with their kids. I seen a post today that said now it said today grandmothers want to be called everything except a grandmother. And I thought about it because I'm like, damn, I do hear about grandmas and all kind of shit like that. And now, if every one of them having a child at 15, she could be a great grandma at 45. You know, so it's just man, mental health. Think right so that we can try to come together and move right for the benefit of the community.
Okay. I'm rocking with that. Mental health. The summer that showed the need for mental health, and then at the end of it all, we found out that Tevin Campbell was gay. Kamar, put a bow on it, brother. Put a bow on it.
That's
Mental
it,
health.
man. You know what I mean? Hey, but again, mental health is the thing. You know, we joked about the Kia boys being the topic of the summer, but you know, you talk about mental health with that. You know what I mean? There's some mental issues going on with them young brothers too. You know, me being who I am, I feel like a way to begin to address this through nutrition. You know, we eat a diet. We eat a diet, man, where we ain't getting no minerals. Every organ in our body needs certain minerals for it to function right. And we ain't getting no minerals for our brain. We ain't breathing right. You know what I'm saying? We ain't getting the nutrients from the air that our brain needs. You dig what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, you know what I mean? Let's start with what's called mental health. The summer for the need of mental health awareness.
So to give it a nickname, let's call it the great retarded summer, right?
The retarded
The great
summer.
the retarded summer is
We
what we
gonna be
can
some
nickname.
ableists, man. You know,
Right.
we can't use that word.
Right. Well,
Well, we ain't calling nobody retarded.
I'm calling a lot of
The
people
summer's
retarded.
retarded.
I've been called worse things than an ableist. Trust and believe. I've been called everything except for a child of
Ableist.
God.
That shit is hilarious. Like
Right. Right.
I am appreciative to like that to be a I
Who
thank
who
God for
makes this
that.
shit up? Right? Who comes up with these words?
Man.
They're transphobic. Really? Am I?
A
Okay.
bunch of
Right.
people who like being offended. Like offense is a choice. That's why it's called to take an offense. You have to choose whether or not you want to take that shit. And a
Yeah. I
lot
just
of people out here just they would rather be angry than feel nothing at all. And a lot of them don't know how to stimulate themselves.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just want to feel good, right? Like so they want you to say things to make them feel good. I've never been that type of person. I'm not here to coddle you, right? Like, and you're not here to coddle me. A lot of people, their truth is based on feeling good, not on understanding, right? So you want to be entertained. You don't want to be enlightened. You want to feel some kind of way. You don't want to be some kind of way, right? So
Right.
I said all that to say, especially in our community, it's time to face the music, right? It's time for us to really say we got a problem and we got to do something about it. We've said it before, something wrong. Then we all just leave and go back to what we was doing. That's why we are in the place that we're in right now because we haven't demanded anything. We need to demand that things get better. We need for Mayor Johnson to know, bruh. At the end of these 2 years, if shit ain't better, hire your ass, fire your ass. We need to let my brother know, my brother DC know. We gonna remember that shit you was riding for when you was talking about building affordable housing in Wauwatosa and Kenosha. Right now, just in Wauwatosa, we seen another young black male who was shot. Nothing was done. When are we going to boycott Wauwatosa? Fuck that mall. I'm gonna say it again. Fuck that mall. Right? When we gonna show them? Because we keep talking about it, but we ain't doing nothing about it. There's some new Jordans come out, we feel all the way around the corner. And if you young, you got to be there before 6 o'clock without a parent, because after that you can't get in without a parent because they don't want your black ass out there anyways. That's where you want to build some affordable housing at? Come on, son. We gonna remember that, right? I'm going back to my capital shit. Watch your mouth, punk. Not DC, because my boy, he's not a punk. But come on, DC. Come on, man. Y'all got to stop going along to get along, man. You want to be a professional politician, I understand it. So you're going to say and do what they want you to do right now. But what you got to understand is this is a marathon, not a sprint. If you stand with us right now and for us right now and do the right things for our community, we'll stand with you long term. As opposed to looking at you in 4 or 5 years and saying, man, please, we ain't voting for dude. He's the same one who got our ass to stand out in Wauwatosa right now so that gentrification can keep happening, because it's already happening in Milwaukee, right? Everybody keep talking about the hood so bad, the hood so bad. Wait till they get a hold to it. Now imagine your ass getting pulled over on 7th and Center and being asked what you doing over here. That's what it's going to turn into. Burleigh Zoo my ass. If anything, it'll be a zoo, an actual zoo on Burleigh when they take over, right? And you need the zoo. No, you can't get in here, motherfucker. This is the Milwaukee County Zoo. For real, right? So I just say to my people, wake up, man. Wake up. Let's get it together, man. Because like I said to start the show, we all right and we all wrong. The problem is a lot of us just can't admit when we wrong. We only want to be right all the time, which is impossible. So shout out to Vince Tony. Shout out to Chris Johnson and Kingfish MKE. Shout out to Miss Beverly with the hypocrisy of MPS. Shout out to you. If you listen to the show, share the show. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You know, we put a lot of weight in shit that don't make no sense. If I was on here talking about some gossip and some hip hop shit, everybody would be, you know, listening in, tuning in. What rapper got shot? Who got beef with who? Irv Gotti said this, and Ja Rule said that, and 50 Cent said that. Fuck all of them, man. We got to be careful, because pretty soon we're going to have what Tupac said, which is pretty soon we'll have a race of babies that hate the ladies that make the babies, right? And once we got men hating women, you know what comes next. Murder and homosexuality. Those are two things that we see right now that's definitely on the rise in the United States of America, right? It's all about us, man. We got to do for us, man. And if you get confused about where you are in this process, you got to stop and ask yourself, wait a minute, does my criticism of the black community outweigh my contribution to the black community? If it does, your ass is a coon. I see y'all Monday night, man. Y'all hold on and be strong, man. Outlaws for life, baby. Information gang, word mob in the building.